Hey everybody, thank you for posting all these questions. I put a tweet on Twitter and also in the YouTube community. I posted that ask me anything. So I got a lot of questions. I'm going to try to answer them here in this video. Also, look, you can go to the description in this video. Hopefully this is going to work. I'm going to try to show the different questions and the timestamps. So if this is a long video and you want to find either your own question or skip to ones you're interested in, you can maybe do that. This might be a long video. Hopefully it's a lot of fun. Let's get started. Okay, BTC Buddha asks, yeah, answer how you think you will feel when you are mostly rotated out of crypto by 100K as we go to 600K. BTC Buddha, Mr. Smarty Pants. What he's saying is I've talked about, I've talked about selling some when the market is crazy high. Okay, but first let me just say, I'm not a trader. I buy and hold. I have 5-year outlook. I like things that I think, 5 years from now, this is going to be a lot more valuable than it is today. And I have a plan. I'll hold it for 5 years. That's what I like to do. I feel that way about Ethereum. At the same time, I have learned, it's my 7th bubble. I have learned that there are times when there are euphoric, crazy highs, and it pays to take some money off of the table, because it can then crash and take a few years to get back to where you were. It can fall by 80%. And yeah, if you hold long enough, you make it all the way through if you're right. But at the same time, like I said, I just went to the hot tub in my building, a couple days ago, and a bunch of young kids in there talking about stocks. One kid is up 300% in GameStop. And, and they love crypto. And it's like my mother wants to buy Uni. My cleaning lady, always asking me. Listen, it's euphoric, can go a lot higher. So to Mr. BTC Buddha's point, I've talked a lot about taking some money off the table when it's high. I am going to make another video talking about be careful about selling though. Like, you don't want, what he's saying is true. You sell it, sell it all at the top, and then before you know it, yeah, you didn't buy back when it went down, or it wasn't the top, and then you're out of it. Like, you don't want to do that. And there's a lot of risks to selling, and I'm going to make a video about that. But for me, and we all have our situations, but I got, if 50% of my net worth is in crypto, and like I said, people are talking about it in the hot tub, in the jacuzzi. Maybe and when I say in my net worth, it's like, I'll take a little off the table and buy a house, right? I haven't bought new clothes for 2 years. Take a little bit out, redo my wardrobe, buy some furniture, But I'm not exiting. I hold my Ethereum with greedy hands, and Uniswap too. Love it, but that's another question, and we'll get to it. Okay, next is Just Keep Going says, yes, please share any experience you have using Binance Earn. So I love decentralized networks. That's like my thing since 1990, okay? I love decentralization. That's what got me on the web early. I believe that decentralized systems grow faster and become larger than centralized ones trying to do the same thing. And that's just been a thing for me throughout my life. That's where I've made my most money. So that's what I do. Now, there's other ways to make money and invest in whatever. But for me, I'm all about decentralization. Binance, not decentralized right now. Now, I love CZ. I don't think he's going away. I love Binance, but the token as an American is not decentralized. It's not for me, So, the U.S., they don't like guys like CZ, the American government, right? So I think it's risky. I look at investments. I always look at, can they steal my money? And when I say they, I'm not talking about CZ. I trust him. I'm talking about the U.S. government. Can they shut him down and fuck up my investment? Yes, they can. And like I said, because it's not decentralized, and if I'm on Binance chain, I looked at it a little bit. It's like, it's not decentralized. You can't just leave and take your money out, I have to go through the U.S. So I don't know if I want to get too deep into any of these questions, but bottom line is, it's not for me. I don't like it. Now, hey, again, it doesn't mean it's bad. I was playing with Binance. I used to recommend BNB. I think, whatever. I wrote it from $10 to $30, now it's at 300. But everything else has gone up 10x. I mean, I probably put it into whatever, something else that went up 10x. But bottom line is, I'm not for me. But I love watching it. I love CZ. We'll see what happens. And maybe someday it will be decentralized, and then I'll be able to get in and play with it. Alpha Aggregator says, hey, Dave, I know you're interested in AMM Solutions. That's Automatic Market Maker. Maybe we'll explain that. Let's see what the question is. So, would be nice if you could elaborate more on how they currently compare. I'm invested in Uni, Sushi, Balancer, and single-sided LP in Bancor. Came out, and also new version of Kyber. So, trading on crypto networks is exciting. The innovation that is exciting in crypto for trading is two things. One is non-custodial trading. In other words, when you give your money to Coinbase, you literally are giving them your money. Or any centralized exchange, legally, you lose title to that money. It's theirs. You're giving it to them. They own it. They owe it to you. But if they go bankrupt, you're screwed, right? It's different than when you go to a valet with your car and they go park your car. You're not giving them title to your car. You just loan them you're letting them use it for a little bit, but if something happens to it, it's their fault. Like, it's your car. With money, that's not how it works. So non-custodial is a big deal. The other is trading pool rather than order book trading, which is I want to sell 500 and someone else wants to buy 500 and they match up and trade. That's order book trading. All trading around the world. Before crypto, that's how it works. With crypto networks, we now have this system of there's a pool of tokens and another pool of tokens, and the price is set between the pools by an algorithm. It's just a different way of trading. We call it automated market makers, sometimes constant function market makers. And this is a huge innovation that will disrupt order book trading. What that means is that we are talking about technology that disrupts a multi-trillion-dollar industry. This is huge. Everybody's all excited about NFTs. I'm like, whatevs NFTs? I mean, whatever NFTs. I'm sure there'll be a question. We'll get to it. But automated market makers disrupting order books, to me, that's one of the most exciting things I've ever seen in my life. Right? So, anyways, so how do they compare? Here's my thing. My way of investing is I'm not, read a white paper, try to predict I'm not the best at deciphering math equations regarding the algorithm. What I do is I look and I see who's the biggest, who's growing the fastest. And I like that one. I don't know, right? Doesn't the leader, which search engine won? Back in the 90s, there were like 20 search engines. Which one did the best? It was the one that grew the fastest and had the most users. Oh, okay. Which social network won? Was it the best, or the one that had the coolest pictures, or the one that had the best technology, or whatever? I don't know. It was the one that had the most users and grew the fastest, right? I don't know. Sometimes it's not that hard to figure out to me. And so, when it comes to automated market makers, Uni, it's the biggest, it's growing the fastest. I don't know. Now, we've seen competitors catching up to Uni. Like Curve started making inroads, but now Uni's upgrade is going to eat that lunch. We've seen Sushi make some, do a little attack and gain some share. I'm going to make a video about Uniswap, automated market makers. I love Uni. I decided I ain't selling any of it. Hodling it right through the crash. I don't give a shit. I love it. Now, if the numbers change, it's something, or, we'll talk about it in a video. But anyways, I don't even look, people talk about Bancor. Do you think Bancor will be great? I don't know if Bancor will be great, but I can go. There's a link. I've shared it before. Maybe if I can remember, I'll put it in this show notes here. Link to DEXs. You can look and see. It's like So Uniswap is this big on the chart, and Bancor is this big. Okay, so I don't care, right? Now, if Bancor starts getting this big, and it's growing, and Uniswap staying the same or coming down, then I'll start to like Bancor, right? I judge based on results, not based on anything else, because that's what I know. That's how I do it. There's other ways to do it, and there might be better ways. That's what I do. So I don't worry about all these other ones. We'll talk about that more in a separate video. Alpha Aggregator, one more question. Oh, shoot, I forgot to do the timestamps on this. Okay, so it's 11 minutes. Shoot, okay. I think that layer 1 blockchains like Solana and Avalanche or ecosystems like Cosmos, Polkadot are building a lot right now, but maybe you're less interested now that we're closer to the peak of the cycle. I don't believe in dethroning ETH, but winners could support it. So here's my vision. And whether we're at the top of the cycle or the bottom of the cycle doesn't matter. And keep in mind on that point, there's two things completely separate. One is reality of what is happening, growth and value of networks and what's going on in the world. And the other is price. Now, in the long run, the price will follow value. But in the short run, and by short run, I mean a year or two, price is mostly determined by the central bank shenanigans. If they print a shitload of money, they just send everybody, $1,400 and whatever the hell the central bank prints money. That has more of an effect on price than value, and it just makes everything go up. So anyways, that's separate. I pay attention to the value track. What is really happening, and not the price track. I believe if you follow and you're with the things that are most valuable, price will be your friend in the long run. So the way I see things happening is we have Ethereum is the base layer. It is the trust layer base. And when it comes, and for this, there are so many applications, not just order books. You get the NFT craze with what's going on. There's a lot of excitement with NFTs. It's not just buying a sword from a game for $1 million, royalties and what have you. And there's so many applications you can build on Ethereum or using a trusted crypto network. So many things you can build, and you can't build it all on Ethereum layer 1. That's the base layer, and then you have layer 2 on top of it, where you sort of batch transactions or have special features that can do a lot of little things fast, and then you settle on the base layer. And that's the same with other layer 1s like Avalanche, Solana, Cosmos. My vision of what happens is Ethereum is the center base, and then you have all these things off of it that do fancy features that you can't do on the Ethereum base layer or would be too expensive for the Ethereum base layer. And they all connect in and settle on Ethereum. And so who are going to be the winners? I don't know. I've poo-pooed a lot of the other blockchains because they're trying to be what Ethereum is, but that's sort of going away already. Now, these other layer 1s are learning what they need to do to have value is they're almost like another layer 2. It's not a layer 2, it's another chain. And so I think there will be a lot of winners or a lot of solutions that create value that are layer 2 or other blockchains. I'm just not sure who they're going to be. And like I said, I'm not in the business of predicting. I'm in the business of watching and seeing. So, I've saw some good things about Avalanche, and I think they actually have some activity on it. Or I can't remember what it was, but I was like, oh, there's actually something going on one of these chains. Okay, so if Avalanche has all of a sudden, I'm reading there's $10 billion on Avalanche doing XYZ, and I'm going to be like, okay, I like that. I mean, whether I invest or not, I don't know, but I'm just saying that's how I judge, based on results, not based on predictions. And it's the same for layer 2. I mean, there's optimism and ZK rollups and, and who knows what other solutions and what's going to work and are they interoperable and what's going to happen? I don't know. What I try to do is watch, read, study so I can see what's happening in reality before other people. And when I see what's happening, then I bet if I see something is the best, then I bet on that, right? Okay. Hopefully that answered the question. Timestamp. Sane120 asks, how do you see Uniswap and the UNI token currently? You think we'll have V3 on layer 2 and soon be a success? Thank God UNI announced yesterday, and maybe it'll be later when I post this video, but whatever, just announced version 3 and what it's going to be. That's a whole separate video. We'll get to it. Do I think it'll be a success? Hell yeah. UNI. Love it. And the UNI token. Love it. Okay. Next. Moro Delazeri. I'll pronounce that. With so many layer 2s on ETH, the liquidity will be splitting in their separated buckets that can only communicate between them using L1. Do you think this will be a problem? And then let me answer that first. So, yeah, this is a problem, but a solvable problem. And yes, there'll be so many different solutions. It's sort of like, in a way, right now, I just listened to a video, and I'm going to listen to it again because it's like it was way over my head. The CEO or the founder of Connext on Bankless podcast talking about what they're doing is helping communication between all these different L2s and also other blockchains because that's an issue. So in other words, you got Ethereum right now on Ethereum and everything on layer 1, everything is immediately communicatable and everybody knows what everybody has and it's all, in a sense, it's easy. It's also expensive and slow, but it's nice. Now, when you get layer 2 over here and layer 2 over here and layer these other solutions doing all these things, how do you know what the total value of the tokens is in this solution and in this one? And how does everything communicate when it's not just all on one layer 1 chain? That's a problem. But there are many solutions that people are working on. So this Connext seems to be a leader in creating those solutions. I'm trying to understand it. And we're getting into here, again, it's very important always to keep a time frame, keep a sense of time frame. Like, people like to think, I'm a long-term holder, so it's going to happen eventually, so I'll buy it now. And it's like, oh, and then you're right 20 years later and you were underwater. Remember that video I made? It's one of my favorites about the scariest chart ever, the Amazon chart. Because if you bought in 1999 because you thought Amazon was going to take over the world and you were right, you were then underwater for 10 years before the price got back to where you paid for it. So being right is not always mean you're going to get rich, at least quickly, because for 10 years in Amazon, your price, you were losing money. So, point being, a lot of these L2 solutions are, Uniswap says, I can't wait to see this, so they say in May, Uniswap is going to be trading on layer 2. If we're seeing sort of instant, super cheap, fast trades on Uniswap in May, that is huge. All these layer 2 solutions are huge, but it seems like they're coming 6 months away, sometimes for a year away. Sometimes the rollouts seem slow, and then they'll be out, and then how do they communicate with each other, and it introduces new problems. It feels like one of these things that like layer 2 is not here. It's not today, right? Now, if Uniswap launches and it's all amazing right in May, maybe this will come a little faster than I'm starting to feel like it is, but I don't know. It's a little early to say. So bottom line is, yeah, it's a solvable problem. I'm not worried about it. I'm a long-term holder in ETH, and so I'm not worried about layer 2s not communicating in the long run. But, you know, in the short run, it could, the bull market runs a little slower if we can't get, L2, layer 1 right now is just so expensive. People are being priced out, right? And so we need layer 2. So if it takes a long time to get here, this rally could slow down because you get to the point you can't do anything on Ethereum because it's just too expensive. And then he continues, at an L2A can only be traded in B if it goes LN first. Yeah, so he's saying, oh, if you're up in L2, you can't go directly to here. But I think Connext is working on doing that communication, and I'm sure there's many other solutions. So it'll get solved. Timing is the question on that. Okay. Next. Edge Game asks, what do you make of this video? There was a video, Ultrasound Money by Justin Drake. So I actually, that's in my list of videos to watch. By the way, I have a spreadsheet. The way I figure out what to read, I've got a spreadsheet. I'll share it in the notes here. When I see articles I want to read or videos I want to watch, I put them in a spreadsheet. And then when I watch them, I watch it and then I delete it. And I use this for myself. And I've shared publicly this spreadsheet. If you ever you're looking for things to read, you can go look at my personal list. Now, keep in mind, I do this for myself, not for you. So as soon as I watch it, I delete it, even if it's great. And sometimes I read something and then I read it immediately and delete it. So the best ones are on there for the least amount of time, right? And the shitty ones sit there for a while, and then I just delete it, never even watch it. So I'm not saying it's the greatest thing, but this video is on my list to listen to. Also, I started listening. I decided when I work out, I go for a bike ride, I go on the elliptical. You listen to music. It might up your workout a little bit more to hear some, bumping music. But I don't know. Listen to Justin Drake talk about ultrasound money for my bike ride. I go a little bit slower, but I'm learning while I'm working out. So I've started doing all my workouts with podcasts. Anyways, this topic about I think it's very important to understand the value of money and hard money, and not just that, oh, it's a store of value, so I'm going to make money, but it is better for society when we have a hard money that we can depend on. That's another video that I've been meaning to make forever. Hopefully I'll make it soon. So anyways, I didn't listen to his whole video. Justin Drake, I always say only listen to experts. Justin Drake is an expert. And I've listened to the first maybe half of this video. It's interesting. It's good. And he's smart. I listen to him. It's like, when I find an expert, it's not do I agree with them or not agree with them. When someone's an expert, that as far as I'm concerned, he's smarter than me. If he says something, I listen, I consider it. And if it contradicts with things I have to say, I try to figure out how to change my mind to agree with him. And if two experts disagree, I try to figure out, well, what am I going to do here? But the bottom line is he's somebody to listen to and to understand. And it looks like a good video. So, I don't know. I'd listen to it. Okay. Next. Adrian Vaughn asks, can you talk about what yield farming is? Yeah, it's kind of a funny word for something that's pretty basic, which is if you have an asset, a token asset, you can deposit it and earn interest on it. Yield, earning interest on your deposits is yield. And farming refers to the idea that there's a lot of different places to deposit your assets, especially if you have stable coins, dollar tokens. If you have DAI or USDC, you can earn 5 to 20% interest on that thing, sometimes higher. That's a whole nother topic. But anyways, you can get different interest rates in different places. And farming refers to the idea of you're going out and you're looking for the best place. Oh, I can make 20% here, so you deposit it there. And then it's like, oh, I can make more over here, and then you move it over there. This was the craze in the summer. Problem is right now, unless you're a whale, like if you're not doing more than $10,000 at least on a deposit, forget about it, because the gas costs are going to be more than your interest. And even with 10,000, it's close. Depending on some of these smart contracts that are cool, are very expensive to get in and out of. Or if you're long term, I like, again, I like to keep things simple. Like compound finance doesn't necessarily pay the most, but if you want to earn interest on dollars, let's say you're a Coinbase customer, their USDC dollar token is pretty safe. I mean, it's very safe. Coinbase is not going out of business anytime soon. They will honor a dollar. You take that dollar, I take it out of Bank of America, put it in Coinbase, turn it into USDC, go to Compound, deposit it, and you earn interest of, it's been 5 to 10%, plus you get the comp token. That's pretty good yield, right? But you better, I don't know, if you're doing it long term, listen, if you want to deposit $100,000 and leave it there for a year, as opposed to leaving it in Bank of America, I mean, that's sort of a no-brainer. Now, that's sort of yield farming, but farming refers to, oh my God, the interest rate just got a little higher over at Aave, so now I'm going to move it over there, and people doing all these shenanigans. It's too expensive right now in Layer 1 to do that. Unless you're moving $1 million, you can move it every day, but most of us are probably not in that camp. So a lot of this stuff, you're going to have to wait for Layer 2. I mean, I bet I have more money than most of my viewers. And I got to say, it's gotten very difficult to do a lot of things due to gas costs. I mean, I just believe in consolidating. All I have now is Ethereum and UNI. Fuck it. I will get into more stable coins later. I'm buying a house too with all cash, so I just sort of am pulling all my cash into throwing it into a house. I mean, that's just my personal situation. I'm off topic. What is he asking? Yield farming. I answered it. Let's go on. All right. John Tibaldi asks, even more than having your take on things I'm interested in, I'd love to have your take on things you're interested in, that I'm interested in. Well, thank you. What's on your mind? Hit record when you have something to say, and we'll listen and learn from your wisdom. I could pontificate on any topic for a long time, for sure. But what I've found is that, honestly, most people crypto is my area where I'm sort of clearly, I think I'm an expert. And there's few people out there who know what they're talking about. So when I talk about crypto, I get the most viewers and interest and comments and all that. When I talk about other things, first of all, it's not as unique, and maybe I'm not even that much of an expert. I mean, I think I am in my head, but I mean, so I don't know. I like talking about other things, but it just hasn't gone that well when I do it. And plus, now my channel is focused. Most of you watch me for crypto info. So all of a sudden, I'm talking about, I love, longevity, health. I'm 50. I want to live long. I've got an Aura ring tracking my heart rate, Garmin, Whoop. I look at all these apps. That's something I'm into. Love to talk about. And I'm actually going to buy, I've been on Google forever. I'm buying an Apple phone just so I can get the Apple Watch, just because I love its biometric tracking shit and all the apps I can get. So I'm moving to Apple just for the biometrics. This is something I'm super into, but it's like, I feel like, some of you may be super interested in that. Like, here's my audience, my crypto audience. Some of you may care about my stupid health theories. Some of you may care about, what else do I want to talk about? I'll talk to you about COVID and how stupid the government is. And I've made some posts on my Twitter. I'm like, I get annoyed and I want to point things out, but like, nobody cares. I get no likes. If I post Ethereum is the hardest money the world has ever created, I get retweets and likes and comments and questions. And, sorry, I'm getting a text. Oh, God. But when I talk about other things, it gets kind of quiet. So I don't know. I sort of think I'm not going to do that. All right. Matthew Gerard Ricard asks, would you would like to see you talk about the current market situation? He's talking about probably the economy as a whole. I mean, this, so the market is not the economy. I think the economy is not great. I think it's difficult to go out there and make money right now because I find the government is your enemy. They're attacking all the time. I'm in California. I would not start a business in California right now. It's just, they want to destroy you. It's really painful and it's annoying and it's difficult and so in the economy, obviously, the government's ruined a lot of businesses with their stupid COVID responses. The economy has some problems. Now, there's also a lot of great, smart people and great companies out there. It's not like the economy's dead. And there's a lot of smart people in America. I haven't given up hope by any means. But anyways, that's the economy. The markets, that's a different thing. That's the prices. So you have the economy. What is the price of all the things in the economy? So you have the central bank printing a shitload of money that it throws into the markets. So here's the economy, and then the markets gets inflated. So all prices are going up because the central bank is printing lots of money, and that money is not going into... They have just recently started giving some money to actual people, right? But for every $1 they give to a human, they give $100 to hedge funds and banks and investment community. Been good for me. Can't complain. Rich get richer, but so the markets have gone up a lot because of this, and it lasts until it doesn't last anymore. Eventually, you can't just keep printing money for free without any cost. It doesn't work like that, and that's another video. But for now, God, I keep getting these text messages. Leave me alone. So where was I? Yeah. So I don't know. The reason prices are up so much and keep going up is because the central bank keeps printing, and they keep printing. Eventually, something probably breaks. The end game is when the central bank can't print anymore because there's inflation or because the printing makes interest rates go up or just something breaks and the printing itself is causing the problem. And if the central bank can't print more money, then it's all going to collapse. So be careful. Always be careful. And don't try to predict, though. I always try to think with my portfolio. I'm always thinking, if the market goes up a lot, am I happy? Am I positioned? Good. If the market crashes, am I good? Am I happy? Am I positioned? Good. Or what if the market what if the market goes down by 20% and sits there for 8 months? Am I okay? Good. That's how I look at it all the time. So that's why, for the past year, I've had a lot of cash and a lot of risk assets. So everything happened to go straight up. I had my Ethereum and my Tesla, made a lot of money. If it had all crashed, it was like, well, I got a lot of cash. Now I can buy stuff cheap. Happy both ways. Okay. Hi, Dave. Not shilling some random altcoin. This is Wise Guy. Not shilling some random altcoin, but I was hoping you could look at this low cap coin that is on the rise because of its use case. It allows users to stake their crypto and get a stable coin where they can stake it again and receive twice the rewards. Oh, God. You are falling for every fucking buzzword I've ever heard. So, first of all, like I said, price goes up because the markets are going up. When the central bank prints money, everything goes up. Shit coins go up, good coins go up, so whatever. It's not going up because it has a use case. Ethereum's awesome. In 2018, when everything was crashing, Ethereum was still great. It didn't become shitty. It was great. But the market was going down, right? I mean, so And anyways, low cap coin, like you like it because it's small, like it's okay, it allows users to stake their crypto. I mean, you can stake anything now. The yield, I can take any stable coin, I can take USDC and I can stake it. I mean, what is your definition of stake? If you deposit it to earn interest, you can deposit and earn interest on almost everything. Okay, so whoop-de-doo. And then you get interest, or you can, and then the other thing you can do with every token, you can deposit something, and then you can borrow and earn interest on it, and then you can borrow against it to get something else, and then you can deposit that. You can play all these fucking games everywhere. Gee, someone has convinced you that their new little shit coin is special because it can do this. The only difference between this shit coin that you like, which I haven't researched at all, and maybe it's like is good and someday it'll be something. I doubt it, just by the nature of your question. But someone has convinced you that this is the only token that allows you to like stake and earn interest and do things with it. It's called like every token on Ethereum. So yeah. And then D. Pitters asks, Ethereum versus Wax fees for NFTs. Wax, so I like Wax because I met this Quigley, the founder of it, in 2017. I remember I was at an event, and like, everybody in 2017, oh my God, everybody was a moron. I was like, this is painful, get me out of this thing. But I spoke to Quigley and I was like, okay, this guy, he's smart, loved him. And I do follow him on Twitter. And he gets it, and what he's doing, what I talked about earlier, is, ETH is the base settlement or financial layer, and then Wax you can look at, it's not a layer 2, it's its own blockchain for trading NFTs, but it settles and its financial trust comes by connecting to Ethereum. I believe that's what they're doing. I'm not a super expert on it. I just like Quigley. I think I understand I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I think I understand what Wax is trying to do, which fits into my worldview on what's happening with Ethereum. And then NFTs are a unique thing that, there's NFTs on Ethereum, but I remember listening to him say on Wax, they have a lot more specific NFT programs. Like whatever the NFTs can do on Ethereum, there's more specific cool NFT things you can do on Wax. So anyways, it's not ETH versus Wax for NFTs. They all work together. And NFTs, there's a lot of awesome innovations. I haven't dug in yet. I think the problem is right now, I think we're in a point in the cycle. I am pretty sure that whatever NFT is the best right now, you can buy at 90% off, 2 years from now, 90% lower price. And many NFTs that you think are good today will be worth like 99% off. Or a lot of these, because they're just individual things, like I'm afraid to say anything's going to zero, because in 2017 I said all these shit coins, I said a bunch will go to zero. Maybe I'll be right in 100 years, but like even the shittiest stupid things like BSV are not going to zero. And so maybe NFTs are the same thing. But NFTs are different because each one is individual. So there could be zero liquidity. So in a sense, it's worth nothing, right? So I don't know that it goes to zero. I'm just saying NFTs are expensive. I'm not bothering it with it now. Also, it's a long game. The things that are cool, it's a long game. I'll study it later. But for now, I'm not bothering. Then I got this guy, someone messaged me directly. I prefer if you post in the comments so everyone can see it. It's all public. Someone messaged me privately, and whatever, I'll answer it anyways. Crypto Noob. Hey Dave, I've been able to make about $1,000 from crypto. I'm looking to grow in a safer way than trading. I know you mentioned staking USDC. I'm scared of impermanent loss that comes from staking. Have you staked to gain interest? Okay, I already talked about this earlier. Where did I talk about it? I think I did with the yield farming question. Well, if you look in the notes, you'll see a question about yield farming. Oh, what is this? At 2340, question about yield farming. Mr. I talked about it. Won't bore people talking again. But also, impermanent loss is different. Staking, staking can refer to staking, locking up tokens for security and earning interest. You can also lock up tokens into a deposit, into a lending pool to earn interest. But impermanent loss is different. That's in a automated market maker like Uniswap. You lock up 2 tokens, and sometimes those tokens move in price in such a direction that you actually don't make any yield. You can actually lose money, at least in the short run. From my experience in studying on Uniswap, I've never seen anything lose money, but at least theoretically, and I'm sure it happens. And not that I've studied it that deeply either, but impermanent loss comes from you can actually have negative yield in some of these automated market makers. Uniswap's upgrade allows you, if you know what you're doing, to really sort of reduce, if not eliminate, impermanent loss. So that's a different thing. It sounds like this is over your head, and if you're only doing $1,000 too, layer one, keep studying and wait until you can start investing on layer 2, because like I said, if you're not depositing, if you're $10,000, I'm not even sure that's enough to deposit and earn interest on without getting eaten by fees. 50,000 or 100,000 is now the number. So it's a whale's game right now. I think eventually small guys can get in this thing, but right now it's too expensive. Okay. Now we're on the YouTube community. Rafe West, my friend here, he did 1, 2, 3, 4 questions, which for him is not many. Personal finance hacks that people may have forgotten. Personal finance hacks that people have forgotten or not known about. What does that mean? Hacks? I don't know. To me, personal finance is just about, number one, is keep track of your money. Most people don't even know what they own. It's like, oh, I got it. It's all in my head. Or I can look at my bank statement. Especially with crypto, have everything in a spreadsheet, written out, updated every week. Look at what you have. Do some calculations so you see what % of your holdings is in ETH and what % is in this. Like, track all the numbers. Look at what you have. It's not a hack. It's just keeping track of your shit. People don't keep track of it. And even if you think you're keeping track of it, get more detail and update it more frequently. I think that's the most important. Next. I did a video talking about what is advice for younger people. What about Generation X and above, for, I guess, older people advice? It's sort of the same, I guess. Well, I don't know, Rafe, he's always got these questions that stump me. What would I tell for older people? It's easier for younger people because I know they all need to start making money and they have a lot of energy. Older people, I don't know, do you need to make a lot of money? And do you want to work? You're never too old to start a business, but you might be too tired. Also, what's your situation? How much time do you have? How many responsibilities you tied down to? It's hard. Everybody has a different situation. So I think it's just harder for me to answer, older people in general, because it's not general. Younger people, most of them, I give that advice. Mostly what I'm saying, if you have no responsibilities, lots of time, lots of energy, and no money, here's my suggestion, right? Older people, it's like, I don't know, maybe you have a lot of energy, maybe you don't. Maybe you have a lot of time, maybe you don't. Maybe you have a family and responsibilities and a job. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're just trying to figure out how to invest. Maybe you need income. I don't know. So I need a more specific question from you, okay? Carl Norhag asks, any thoughts on the hype around NFTs? There were some interesting use cases for the future, but I think also risks. Now I haven't done a deep dive into NFTs, but this stuff that you can do with royalties, I think is huge. That's a business idea. If you want to start a business, I would start studying, and it's early now. I don't know that you can start a business, helping people move their royalty business to NFTs. It might be too early, but it's not too early to start studying. Royalty payments on NFTs is awesome. I know a tiny bit, and I know enough to know it's a big deal. It's going to be huge, and tons of innovations there. So I would study that. And otherwise, there's a ton of use cases, and I don't know right now. It's sort of all of a sudden, it's funny how it's become, just all of a sudden everybody's into NFTs. Like, there's so many other things going on. Like I said, automated market makers to me is the most exciting thing, and various other things. And people are like, whatever. But NFTs, everybody goes crazy. I don't know. Okay. What else do we got here? Mike Tulner asks, life lessons, your insights really help me reshape the way I see things. When are you going to invite Ty Zen? You guys are an awesome duo. Okay, well, I don't think that's a question. Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate compliments, people, when you tell me I'm great, because I do this for free. I do it because I am trying to help. It helps me a little bit because it gets me to think about things and put my thoughts together, and but also I get joy from thinking I'm helping others. So when you post, oh, you're great, thank you, I do like that. Thank you. And Ty Zen, I remember talking to him a while ago. He seemed like a cool guy. I don't know, invite him. People don't ever seem to want to come on my channel. I've tried, and nobody wants to come on my show. Whatever. I don't know why. If you know why, please let me know. What is it about my personality that scares away guests? Rafe asks, Hollywood insider party secrets. Yeah, I was the king of Hollywood for a little bit years ago. It's very simple. The way it works is the clubs make money by selling bottles to guys. The table, $5,000, $10,000, they make, dollars for a table. The reason the guys pay that crazy amount of money for that table is because they bring a lot of pretty girls to their table. The number one commodity for the club scene, for clubs that know what they're doing, and would be Hollywood good clubs, or good. I mean, the whole thing might be stupid, but the ones that are, successful. The number one commodity are the beautiful women who want to go and have fun, because that's what gets the guys to pay the money. They won't get guys to pay money if there aren't the women, and the women aren't coming for the guys. They're happy to get the free drinks, but without the women, you got nothing. And even the good-looking women even rank higher than celebrities, because the celebrities are coming for the women. And the women, they like to see celebrities there, but again, if there's no hot women, the celebrities aren't coming. And if the celebrities, I guess maybe some women go for the celebrity thing, but I just remember the pecking order is ladies first. And so if you want to get into that scene, you either bring a lot of money, which even, I remember I had money, but I'm like, this is stupid to spend $5,000 on an evening. And that's probably getting in cheap. That's cheap, right? $5,000. Show up, if you're a guy, show up with 3 really good-looking women, and then they'll let you in, and show up early. The cool people show up at 11. The club opens at 10. They start letting people in actually at 10:15. At 10:45, it starts getting hard to get in, and the cool people show up at 11:15. Okay? Get off your high horse. You don't have to be cool. Show up at 10:10 with 3 decent-looking women. Look for the guy with the clipboard who's got a hat on. Look him in the eye. When he looks at you, they're like this. Wait till they're looking. He looks at you and say, it's just me and these 3 beautiful ladies. Can we get in? And you'll get in if you're there at 10:15. Okay? And don't be cool and show up at 11. And then you get in there and nobody's in there and it's freezing. And then you got to buy those girls some drinks. And you wait. And then the fun begins. One of the keys I learned about socializing is be the center of attention, even if you're not in Hollywood, right? If you want to, because there's another question. Okay, Rafe, I'll answer your other question here, which is networking. The best way to network and meet people is make yourself the center of attention. So even if it's not Hollywood or some crazy party, you can just, there's something going, just put something together. I used to do when I first moved to Hollywood, I didn't know anybody. I'd be like, I had like one friend. It's like, oh, let's go to this bar at this restaurant on Friday. Great. Then I would call every single person I ever met once with a very no pressure invitation. Hey, a couple friends and I are going to Rest Bar XYZ. It's going to be a lot of fun. You should stop by, bring a friend, hope to see you. So you can come, you don't have to come, bring a friend, don't worry about it, it's not a date, lots of people are going to be there, you got something to do. And I would call 10 people. 3 show up with friends. I look like I got a million friends. Little do people know, 7 out of 10 said no to me, right? So, and then it's your party, you know the most people, you look cool, right? And then it's easier to network. Also with networking, the book, what's it called? How to Win Friends and Influence People. Old book, great. It's tailored toward if you're a salesperson, but it's still, a lot of the rules make sense. And the basic thing is, when somebody comes, you say hi and you look them in the eye. If you actually want to get to know someone, ask them questions about themselves and be real. Ask things that you're interested in, right? Don't be fake. So, whatever, fake question, be like, oh, I like your shirt. Where'd you get it? Or what do you do for a living? I don't know, but you got to keep it real. I once had a thing where I kept asking people what they do, but I really didn't give a shit. And then I kept forgetting the answer. And then I would see people, the same person, I'd be like, oh, what do you do? And they'd be like, you just asked me that 2 weeks ago. And I'd be like, oh shit. And then I was like, I better not ask that anymore, because clearly I don't care. And then when they leave, you say goodbye. That's it. Oh, and if you want to make a contact with somebody, you want to get a lady's number, or, opposite sex number, or same sex, if that's your thing, I don't know. But or just connect with someone. When you talk to somebody, you look for something in common. They're like, oh, and I play tennis. You play tennis? I play tennis too. Oh, cool. Well, you could play tennis someday, huh? And then you talk, and then later, it's like, hey, you want to play tennis sometime? We should play tennis sometime. Can I get your number? Don't even just ask, do you want to? It's just, we should play tennis sometime. Hey, we have a mutual thing. Can I get your number? And then you have a thing, a connection. Okay, there's my 2 cents on networking. Where are we? Bendick asked, do you use on-chain data to time the market or look at charts on TradingView? What's your strategy to catch the top and bottom? No. Do not try to time the market. Do not look at charts. Or if you look at charts, it's like for, 3 to 5 years. Basically, in crypto, you got this thing, this giant. If something's going straight up, like if you look at the charts today on almost anything over 2 years, 3 years, or even 1 year, don't buy it, right? It looks horrible to me. That's going straight up. I remember in 2020, the charts all looked like this, went down and then just flat. People go, oh, that's the worst chart. Look at that thing. I'm like, I love this. If you like something, that's what you want to see. It crashed and then sat there for a while. But that's over years. And that doesn't mean it's going to go up. It has to be good. And then things go up for reasons these days, mostly because the central bank starts printing. But, yeah, so I don't look at all that stuff in trading, and I don't try to catch the top and bottom. Again, long-term view. When it was 2019, people like to say the bull just started. No, it started in January 2019. We're 2.5 years into this thing. It didn't just start. And in crypto, a 3-year bull market's pretty long. So we're not at the beginning of this. I don't know if it's the end, but we're not at the beginning. And again, I don't try to catch the bottom, but when it crashed and started to sit, this is where buy, you know? And then now it's like this. So maybe it's sell. And then one of the sales might be the top. You know, I don't know. Look at the Tesla chart. I sold some on December 25. That's Christmas. It was something it was listed in the S&P 500. And then like that day I sold some. It might have been the top or close to it. Did I hit the top? I don't know. But I also sold some a little bit lower and a little bit lower and a little bit lower, you know, before that on the way up. Every time I sold, I thought it was probably the top, and then I sold more. Now, I'm going to make my video about selling. Be very careful about selling, and my Tesla was it's in an S&P, not an S&P. It's in an IRA, so I have no tax. That's a big plus on some of these things. So that's a different video, but anyways. Don't try to catch the top and the bottom, but do a long-term thing and dollar cost average buying when you're at a low, dollar cost average selling when you're at a super high. Don't sell all of it. Don't put all your money into it at the low. Don't sell all of it at the top. But you do a little trimming and buying at these different points and maybe get lucky and you get one at the bottom and one at the top, right? Andrew Culverwell. Check out, I'm not even going to mention because I think it's stupid, people telling me to check out. Why would I check out your stupid recommendation? Now, if you put something in, this app got $1 billion in deposits in the first 6 months, and does this and that, and check out the stats here. Okay, I'll look at that. But some random person check out blah, blah, blah. Why? I'm busy. And who are you? I'm not going to look at it. What do I care? And then the next guy. Kevin McAlpine says, please check out something. Check it out. Why don't you do a little research? I mean, listen, I understand. I'm the genius. That's why you're watching me. You want my research. Do a little work. Post something. Please check out. Why don't you post 3 bullet points to motivate me to not think it's fucking stupid? Because 99% of the time, people say, check this out. It's stupid. Or, also, I'm busy. Maybe it is great. Do I have to go digging? Why don't you give me, if it's so great, you can't give me 3 bullet points on why it's great to get me started, save me a little time? You're fucking lazy. That's how I'm going to end the video, being mad at somebody? Did I do everything? That was fun, right? We are done, my friends. 1 hour on the nose. AMA. Ask me anything. Okay. We'll do this again, I think. But let me know your thoughts, comments, questions. Blah, blah, blah. Like, share, tweet. I'm on Twitter, remember. At Twitter at Dave Levine, the number 0, com, C-O-M. That's all. Thank you, everybody.